Stations for the. Okay, I'm just recording. Just keep it casual. Don't worry too much about it. Okay, so hello everybody. I'm here with
Ken.
Ken. Oh, Ken. I thought it was Ken. My bad.
It's all right.
So what are you doing out here, bro?
That's a big one. That's a big one. I spent like 15 years out here. Went to Altaloma. Went to school out in Arizona. See right here.
Okay.
For aviation, spent 4 years out there.
Flying?
Flying.
That's what's up.
I'm a pilot. Pandemic hit as I graduated.
Oh, man.
Finished up my instrument when the flight schools opened back up. Spent a whole year out there, just in the industry. Worked as like a dental consultant. Then my lease came up, and I decided to make that executive decision. Moving back home would probably be the cheapest thing for me to do, and I can continue my flight training there. I'm back here. I picked up a drone security job. I'm finishing up my commercial license. I'm actually flying to Havasu tonight to start my night flight training.
Okay.
And yeah, I've just been like taking up projects whenever I can.
See, this is exactly why I do it, because like obviously it's just the people that you meet is very interesting. They're very different life stories, and we forget about the life stories that come with people. It's very we're very self-centered a lot of times, and when you take the time to everyone's awesome. And when you take the time to listen to everybody's story, it's pretty cool. And so you say you went to school in Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you like, let's say Arizona compared to California? How do you like, what do you see the differences?
It was a culture shock. Arizona, when I first got accepted there, everyone was like, are you going to buy a gun? And I was like very far left at the time,
Yeah.
But because of Arizona, I'm like very like straight in the middle, I would say libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like Phoenix, it wasn't like Flagstaff. It was a very small town, very, very red. Everyone owned a gun. It was very, not as diverse as California.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, I was very closed-minded for the first year, 2 years, and I had to check my ego, and then eventually I just became a local there, and I understood what it was like living there and why they got that political spectrum and why they have those views. And honestly, like a lot of them are very fearful. I never really realized it. I grew up in a gated community. I was born and raised in Arcadia. A lot of us are very privileged because not a lot of other people share different perspectives like us.
100%. And I like that privilege because, again, I grew up here in Rancho, like very privileged. And I think one of the biggest things too is understanding that you have it, but as well is not letting it go to waste. Because a lot of people will say that they have the privilege, and what they'll do is they won't use their privilege. And I feel like it's a very unuseful way to do it, because for the people that don't have it, that's why I do this. I do it for the people that want to do it and that think that they can't do it, but then they can do it. Mm-hmm. And then again, obviously Arizona is a very different.
It's
very different, but different in it has its own good. Like every place, it has its own good and its own bad. And I think I'm actually going down to the river in July. I love Arizona just because you could kind of strike a conversation up with anybody. Mm-hmm. You could just go up and hey, you want a beer? All right, let's go get this. Let's drink a beer. What's up? Right?
It's very free. I was in a fraternity out there, and some of them were like, just had a sign that said, honk and we'll drink. And I was like, you can't do that around here.
I know. So it's just very different, but life is a bunch of experiences. Mm-hmm. So what about you? What's your why in life? Why do you do all the things that you do? Or what's your goal? What's your purpose? Or do you have someone you're doing it for? Or
Family. My mom immigrated here, just her. She's the only one that's around. It's just me, her, a little brother.
From where, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of, it's been in the back of my head because I'm very no kids, none of that. Mm-hmm. A very big perspective she gave me is when she showed me a photo of her family all in the Philippines, and I told her I didn't want kids, and she was like, I didn't immigrate here from the other side of the planet just for my bloodline to end like that. And I'm like, okay. And then she was like, just know, when I'm gone, it's just going to be you.
Yeah.
And that's probably my why, I would say, for family.
So do you feel pressure in that? So obviously, for you, so what's the reason why you feel like you don't want to have kids? Or what's the reason why?
It's a very big decision to have a kid.
It is.
Especially, I've seen it. I've seen some colleagues, some associates that I've known have kids, and once you have a kid, I wouldn't say it's game over. It's just your life goes in a very specifically different direction. You're a dad now. You have these responsibilities. I have a dog. That's my responsibility.
I do too.
It's my responsibility, man.
Those are babies. That's a kid right there. That's a kid right there.
They poop, they pee. You got to take them out every couple days.
You can't be out for too long.
Yeah, you can't. And then with a kid, it's that's a kid with an emotion. Emotions. That's a big financial responsibility. That's why kid right now? Oh, absolutely not. I want to get myself set up. I want to be good financially. I want to make sure my kid goes to a good school, a good college, give him what my mom gave me.
I see kids my age. I see people my age. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you guys are. I don't know. Like, I cannot see myself just because, especially for me, like, I feel like I do have a good mindset, but I still feel like deep down inside I'm a kid at heart, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel like the older I get, the more I still feel like a kid, but I'm a grown up now.
Yeah.
Like I'm 20 years old, and then like so like I think once I hit that 20-year-old, then I show okay, like I'm a grown adult here. I pay rent now, like, but I still feel like a kid at heart, and I think that's it's very important because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of adults tell you like don't lose that inner kid, but then we kind of forget that and we lose our inner kid as we go with time, and then we kind of I think if you see like an older man that's has a little childish in him, it's kind of weird, right? Like it's kind of seen as weird, but yet we tell the kids don't lose that inner kid. I don't know where I was going with that one, but I just find that it's very interesting that, you know, that we just have these things that people do and whatnot. Yeah. But with kids wise, so now that your mom told you that, and you said you're kind of leaning more towards like getting just financially ready, and then you're feeling like you're ready to have one, or still kind of like
that's still like, because it's like you can't just, not me saying you can't, but it's like it's a big decision.
It is
to knowingly choose that you want a kid, you're ready for a kid. I mean, whoever is really ready for a kid.
So then, what else is it for life? For you, is it just you for your life, or do you like for me? I think like that's my fundamental thing. Is like a kid is like I feel like it's more so a must. Because then be selfish for everything that you've learned, all your experiences and all your, because my parents don't sit down and talk to me about their experiences, and I wish they would, but it's a very different generation, you know. But I want to, like, when I have a kid, like that's one of the things I get excited for. To like tell them like all my stories, like, oh, like when I was in high school I did this, or like let me tell you about this, and okay, let me tell you what to watch out for, and try to guide them in the best way. Without being pushed, without being pushy, because we're a very different generation, because our parents and then our grandparents, those are whole different people. Those are people very, very, very close-minded, I would say, and very in their own ways, and what they believe in is what they believe in. There's no ands or buts about it, so they don't share emotions, and I feel like that's what's going to be new with our generation. But at the same time, like, not too much emotion. You don't want to get too sissy. You don't want to get too.
You gotta be a little firm with your kid, you know?
But I do want to be able to have like have a little mini me that I could communicate to, and I could share my knowledge with. And I feel like that's my why. It's just I gotta keep the lineage going. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta keep the bloodline going.
You gotta keep the whole family tree line going. Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. So another question. Who's your first love? That was always a fun one.
Damn, bro.
That was always a fun one. Okay, I think I can go first. Okay. Her name was. This was like in second grade, right?
All right.
Her name was Trinity. I don't know her. I don't remember her last name. But her name was Trinity. I remember it was Valentine's Day, and I told my mom, can we go to like the store? And so I got like a little teddy bear with like a little heart, and so I remember like I had my backpack, and I was terrified the whole day, right? And so that day I was eating lunch, and they had those burritos, and those like warm-up burritos.
Yeah.
And so I was eating it, and I choked on it, and it was like, and like it was bad. It was a bad choke, like where it got stuck, and like one of the teachers had to like help me, and I was embarrassed. And then like I gave her the bear at the end, but like I didn't get it like genuinely give her the bear. And then ever since then I moved out there, and then I've never seen her ever since. But I still think about her. If it's the second grade, I'll always remember that. And that was the first girl that I was like, oh man, she's beautiful and she's sweet, and you have that feeling when you're just a kid, and there's no sexual thinking about it. It's just like I like this girl.
Yeah, it's like little butterflies.
Yeah, exactly, those little butterflies, and you're just so naive about the world, and then you grow up, and then it gets even worse. But who's your first? You don't got a name drop either if you don't want. I'm probably not gonna see it, but
probably not. Well, hopefully, I don't know. But let's see. I was in this relationship, this girl named Scylla. I was like 16, and it was a long distance relationship. It was weird. Like looking back, it was a little weird. But she was 16, I was 16, and we met through the Vans Warped Tour. We were kind of like just a bunch of emo, angsty kids, and again, long distance. But she lived up in Victorville. Got to meet her parents. You know how people are up in Victorville.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that lasted like a whole year and a half. That's when I got accepted into my school, and she got a little too depressed, and I was like, I can't. You're gonna have to go on your own here.
That's always tough, letting them go.
Yeah, let them go.
I mean, damn.
Yeah, I had to make the decision for myself.
No, it's understandable too. It's just you can't bring everyone up with you as much as it. And again, they always have a place in our heart. I mean, they build the little building blocks of us. That's what you want to tell your kids. You want to say, hey, let me tell you about this girl Scylla.
She's a little crazy.
a little crazy, but at the end, I mean, it gave you some memories though, right?
Yeah.
Good memories.
Yeah, I always look back at my friends. I mean, I'm 24 now, and like I'll look back at friends I've had a year ago, 2 years ago, high school friends, elementary school, middle school, or friends that I used to live next to. Like I'm always gonna remember them fondly.
Yeah.
It sucks what happened at the end, but I'm not gonna be like that's the determining factor. I'm gonna look back and go, that was fun. That was fun, and I learned a lot from it.
Okay. So free will, or do you think everything's predetermined? So let me explain to you, right? So there's free will. Free will, obviously, you can do whatever you want, right? Like I could just give you a little bump right there. That was my free will. Or is all the experiences that I've had in my life made me do that? So am I a slave to my past? So like everything that's made me who I am now is the reason why I do what I do. I can't control that.
Oh, like you make your own decisions, or is there like a predetermined destiny that you do everything you do? Yeah,
because more so like we may think we make our own decisions, but yet every single action or every single experience that we've had in our life has led us up to think that, and to make that certain decision.
Yeah, I think we do have our own free will, but we are predetermined subconsciously by our own parents' personality. And like I'll be doing things and I'll be like, damn, my mom does this, or damn, my dad does this, what am I doing? Or my little brother will do this eyebrow thing that my dad did to us all the time, and I'm like, you know who does that? Dad. You don't want to do that.
Oh, they go like, yeah, I forgot you have a brother. You still got the lineage going.
You still got the
lineage
fine.
Going. There you go.
I'll have kids.
No more kids. You're good.
I'm a pretty cool.
You gotta set up your brother. You gotta set him up.
Set him up. But this destiny thing, that's a hard one. I'm very half and half. Some days I'll just be like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm very checklist oriented. Like right now I was gonna go get coffee, hit the gym, then go fly. But sometimes I'll think like, oh man, what if I did this and this and this? But it's like, I read this book recently called like Extreme Ownership, and it's like you have.
Who's the author?
Jocko Willink.
Oh my god, I love Jocko Willink.
Oh yeah,
Jocko
he's the jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah. Him and Joe Rogan are the two reasons why I got into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But Jocko, I love it. I listen to all his podcasts.
Oh, dude, of course.
Yeah.
It's like just taking ownership in everything you do. Take like the Tomy of leadership. It's like you make the decision of everything you do, and when you do it and it goes wrong, you have no one to blame but yourself.
It's on you.
But sometimes I'll just be on Reddit for too long, and then I'll be like, everything is a simulation. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like everything's predetermined. That's an NPC. What am I like? I'll just be freaking out, and then it's like I just need to go outside.
Yeah, that is true. And then you just gotta experience people.
Yeah, just talk to people, get to know them. Like, what do they do?
The online world is so weird, isn't it? It's a whole different. Okay, what about this meta thing, bro?
This meta thing? Oh,
okay.
With Facebook?
Okay, are you too familiar with that, or kind of yes, no, maybe?
I'm not too familiar. I'm still learning about NFTs.
So let me tell you what I've gotten from it, right? So imagine a virtual reality video game that this is their goal. So they want to create like a VR headset and something to the ability for you to feel with your hands as well. And then so you're able to travel to any place in the world. Think about it. They could have the highest resolution, and we could be having this conversation on a volcano. But yet you could be at your house and I could be at my house, and then we're able to communicate with each other. And so one of the things that they talk about is, okay, so how do we make it as realistic as possible? Okay, eye movement is important. So the way that they want to do is they want to track eye movement, so when you're talking to somebody in the metaverse, you're able to see their eye movement. So it gets that realistic feeling of it. And so you're able to buy certain things in it. You have the status in it, you have property in it. Okay, why do we want property in it? Well, why do we spend $500 on Gucci? There's certain aspects to it where that is it's just the way that everything's going. And that's what scares me, because I feel like it could be very addicting, because if something that's way better than real life, when you could get any girl you want in the metaverse, you could pick any girl you want, you could pick how you look, you could be, if you're this short, chubby guy, well, why not be a tall, jacked guy in this metaverse? You could be whoever you want, create your own identity. And that's what social media basically is, but it's more immersive. And people may think it's crazy right now, but people thought that social media was crazy. And look how social media, like, I'll find again, I was a no on TikTok, but it creeped into me, bro. It creeped into
Dude,
me.
me too.
And then it's just like, I'm just scrolling, like, bro, what am I doing? Like, I need to get off of this. Like,
Going until your eyes bleed.
yeah,
Like, I need to.
exactly. So that's what worries me, is that it will be better. And I know it's going to be better. It's going to be better than real life. And you could be anywhere in the world at any time, and we could be in space having this conversation. Like, imagine the experiences that you could do, and that's what truly does scare me. So I think the robots are gonna take over before anything else.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think the metaverse, it's really cool. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, just like TikTok, just like, I guess, Twitter. Just, you know, you gotta spew whatever the hell you want. But at the same time, it's very unnatural. I remember, like, in the middle of the pandemic, I would just go to the dog park, and as soon as someone would say hi to me, I would just get shivers and shaking. And it's like, because I spent so much time just on Instagram or like, or just like playing Call of Duty, you don't have that outside natural communication of another human being. Yeah. Well, again, there's a balance to everything, and it's everything in moderation.
I think like even this used to be nerve-wracking for me, like going up to somebody and asking, but it's getting comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, having to force yourself. Like I was like, okay, I gotta start learning how to spit some game, right? Because like going up to women is very daunting. It's scary sometimes. It is. It's like because like something you like, especially when you're a respectful guy and you don't want to bug nobody, and you're just like, oh, what if like I bug her, or like what if. So I sit on this mission where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go to Victoria Gardens, and I'm gonna just, if I think a girl's pretty, I'm gonna go tell her, and that's it. I don't want nothing from her. I'm just, hey, you're pretty, and just walk away. Terrified. And that was the worst experience I've ever had. But it got me conditioned to start, okay, now I'm able to start talking to people, coming up to people, and then the more you start doing it, the more it starts to getting. But it could go in both directions. You know, you could do that in a good direction, but it could also lead in a negative direction, like with Instagram, with like all these where you just stay isolated from people and you don't want to go talk to people.
Yeah, it's like you're uncomfortable, you're just gonna whip out your phone.
Yeah, exactly. So well, I enjoyed talking to you, bro.
Thanks.
No problem. Hey, bringing it right here. Hey, you tell them to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe to my boy Isaac.
Okay, thank you to my boy Cam. Ken. I think Cam. I don't know.
Good.
Cam is a good name.
Cam's a good name.
What's your brother's name?
Brennan.
Brennan? Hey, Brennan. Get some kids, bro. Alrighty, big dog. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate it.